Hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are well. Put a 1 in the comments for me if you can hear me clearly. Child, I just realized I ain't put nobody mascara on. I'm looking at myself like, why your lashes not popping? And that's just how you know it's a trick. But I don't even have my stuff around me to show y'all. But I use this Balm Lash Primer by L'Oreal. Hey, my love, and then I use like any other type of mascara, and it really makes my lashes look amazing. And I'm really slick mad that I didn't put any on today, but whatever. Hey, my love. Hey from Dallas. I'm actually gonna make my way to Dallas in the first quarter of next year, so I'll be making my way out there. I'm glad that y'all can hear me. Okay, so today, for those who do not know me, my name is Hey My Love. For those who do not know me, my name is El Antoinette. I am a feminine business strategist, and what I do is I support my amazing clients. I help these amazing women in the areas of feminine design mastery. I support these women in creating seamless income, and I also support these women in doing their sacred work from anywhere in the entire world. My clients literally work from anywhere. My clients built an online business that really supports them and is designed around their authentic feminine design, which is very important. I am a woman who has built a 6-figure business, and I've done it and it's from a space of ease. I am not stressed out. And honestly, normally when people are stressed out when it comes to business, you can tell. Hey, my love, I am not stressed out. I am not all over the place. Hey, Sabrina. I am not exhausted. Hey, Arshia. I am not all over the place. Y'all, building this 6-figure business has been really fun. I've had difficult moments, but it's been really fun because I've designed this business a certain kind of way. And I'm about to let y'all know the cheat code of kind of what I did, of how I was able to kind of build this. And I break down the entire process in the Feminine Business Blueprint, but I'm going to tell you the source of how the Feminine Business Blueprint came about. And if you were in that masterclass, you know how powerful that masterclass was, because that masterclass was teaching you how to build a business around your feminine design. It was literally showing you everything that you would need to be able to sustain an amazing business as a woman, where you don't have to hustle. So if you want to start a business, or if you have a business and your business model is just, it really sucks, it doesn't support your womanhood, because I feel like as a woman, you should not be out here hustling. The reason why I'm doing this case study is because I'm here to refute what society has taught you about yourself. Society told you that you had to choose between having an amazing marriage, family, or having a successful business. Society told you that you either had to choose corporate working or choose actually having a family. That's their agenda. That's not true. That's not true at all. I guide women on this journey, and at one point, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I was married. And so this business model I created around my marriage, and it worked out very well, though that marriage ended, but it worked out very well as far as how I was able to do house dynamics. So I'm here to tell you that you actually can have it all, but you literally have to have a certain structure in place. And I'm finna give you the game on who started this structure and how society flipped it to where every woman is out here hustling now. That's not in your DNA. That's not your portion. The Most High didn't create you to be out here hustling like that. And I'm hoping after today that you really grasp the understanding of why you don't have to do it. Okay? So what I'm about to present to y'all is a live case study on the business and balance acumen of the Proverbs 31 woman in a way that I guarantee you've never heard it come like this. Because most of the time when I discuss the Proverbs 31 woman in a multitude of ways, when it comes down to how she ran her household, business, people don't even recognize all the business game that's sitting right there. You are literally given a blueprint on how to do business, how to do life, and how to do it in a way that's successful to you, in a way that is honorable to you, in a way that is loving to your family. So don't believe the hype. You can absolutely do this. And I'm going to give you these 6 things. Now, I'm only going to give you a portion of it today. I'm probably going to finish the other half of this case study on next week. But I'm going to give you some really good things that I need you to pay attention to today that's very important. That's going to set the tone for you. So again, for those who do not know me, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine business strategist. And what I do is I help my amazing clients in the key areas: feminine design mastery. In order for you to do business long term, I tell women all the time, the realer you are with you, the better you can structure out your business. The realer you are with you, the more you know you, the better you can structure out your business. The realer you are with you, the longer you're going to stay in business. And some of us need to start being real. You're not meant to be a female hustler. I know society told you that, but it doesn't feel good to your bones, do it? It doesn't feel good to your bones for you to leave a 9 to 5 and be working there for 40 hours and turn around and go into your business and be working double time. That doesn't feel good, does it? That's because that actually goes against your authentic feminine design. So I'm going to support you in understanding that today. So before I get into that, I need you to understand one key thing. I need you to know that you are currency, high level currency actually. You are time, you are energy, you are attention, and you are money. I'm going to explain all these things, and I'm going to tell you how society been playing on your top and playing in your face basically all of our lives, okay? So the first thing that you have to understand, hey my love, is that you are time. And when I say you are time, the Most High took great time in creating you. You have a time to be able to do every single thing that you're supposed to do here on this earth. I know we feel like we're rushing against an imaginary clock. That's another trick of society to make you feel like you need to be going faster while they slowly spoon feed you destruction and all these different type of things, so it basically becomes a part of your normal reality. This is what society does. It tells you to rush the process while they slow things down when it comes down to you in order to get you to obey what they want you to do. So the way you get them to stop playing in your face is to really study and understand yourself and understand how you operate. So first and foremost, you need to understand that you are time. Hey, my love. You also have to understand that you are energy, okay? Now, what people tend to do, specifically women, we tend to overextend ourselves. We tend to give away our energy freely because in hopes that if we give away our energy freely, that is going to be returned to us. That is absolutely ridiculous, and it's piss poor programming. The people who taught you that is media. Sometimes our parents taught us that by teaching us to overwork ourselves for everyone in our family without considering how that's going to make us feel. We've been trained to do the most and get the least. And what I need you to understand and get clear on is that your energy is priceless. Your energy is valuable. And you got to know that your energy is basically your heart space. So when I'm speaking about your energy, one high level I'm speaking of, emotions are nothing but energy in motion. That's what emotions are. Your feelings, energy in motion. Okay? So if you don't know how to manage your energy, when it gets in motion, it's going to be chaotic. Okay? So you have to understand that you are energy. You should be your favorite subject to study next to the one that created you, because you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself so that you can articulate what you want in these relationships. You need to know yourself to be able to know what your non-negotiables are going to be in business. You need to know what your boundaries need to be when it comes down to other people and them constantly wanting to be in your space. You are the manager of your energy. That is a vulnerability. And when you mismanage your energy, you feel like someone owes you something. When you mismanage your energy, i.e. overgive, you feel like someone owes you something when really and truly it was your responsibility to manage your threshold as a giver. And a lot of women do not know their threshold as givers. And because of that, you put yourself in position to be played all the time because you don't appreciate your own energy. So you cannot have an expectation of a man to appreciate your energy. You cannot have an expectation for your friends to appreciate your energy. And you cannot expect a client to appreciate your energy. You don't lead by example. And the way you can start leading by example is to understand that you yourself are energy. And when you understand the energy you actually have within yourself, you'll protect it, and you'll understand the scripture when it says in Proverbs, I think it's 4:23, that you should guard your heart above everything else because from it flows life. You give away your energy so freely, and you consistently break your heart so much to where you develop something like broken heart syndrome. And broken heart syndrome is something that you actually die from. You can't, just like a boxer can't take too many hits, all those hits without hitting the ground, eventually you're going to hit the ground. And some of us put our own selves in the ground because we won't protect our energy, because we don't understand the power of our energy. We don't understand the presence and the uniqueness of our energy. And because we don't understand that, you don't protect it. So I need you to be very clear in understanding that you are energy. Okay? The third thing I need you to understand is that you are also attention. Attention is the highest level, highest form of currency in society right now. If society can grab hold of your attention, they can get you to do anything. When someone has your attention, the more attention that they have of yours, the easier it is for them to manipulate you. And when I say manipulate you, that means to shift the energetic experience that's happening on the inside of you, meaning your heart, meaning your emotions. This is what happens to women who choose to, oh, I'm going to date this guy even though he's not my type. You know, y'all try to date the ugly guy because you feel like the ugly guy is not going to play you. So what you end up doing is that you end up giving this so-called ugly guy a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of attention. And next thing you know, guess what? You actually like this guy. Why? Because as you continue to give your attention to something, after a while, manipulation by itself is not a bad thing. And let me be very clear with this, because everyone is a manipulator. Everyone is a manipulator because we all have made or matter. If you clap your hands, you're manipulating energy. Where it becomes deceptive is when it comes down to the core of intent. If you allow yourself to be in spaces where you are consistently giving your highest forms of currency, your time, your energy, and your attention, eventually you're going to become emotionally invested in that, and you're going to have an expectation of something. And when it does not go the way you want it to go, because you was really dealing with ugly dude because you just wanted to bypass your time, and when you end up getting played because that's not what you thought was going to end up happening, it's because you mismanaged your vulnerabilities. It's because you gave your attention to the wrong thing. You were trying to bypass your time, so-called, well, I'm just going to do this until I can get who I really want. And that's how you play yourself. The longer you entertain things that are not for you, the longer you prolong the things that are actually for you. So you have to ask yourself, I am attention. What am I giving my attention to? Because understand, you are attention. And that is a high form of currency in society. People do any and almost everything for attention. This is why really and truly celebrity status doesn't matter anymore, because anyone can be an overnight celebrity. And I say celebrity because you're having to sell an aspect of yourself if you're willing to go that far to get that type of attention. So when I say that you are attention, understand that you are attention and be very clear about what is altering your emotional space. Okay? You are also money. Now, this is one of the biggest gimmicks that society got us with starting from the beginning. Money itself is made up is 75% cotton, 25% linen. Gold, silver, and those type of things have always been true currency when it comes down to financial things outside of bartering and other stuff. But gold, that's the real bag. Okay? So the dollar used to be backed up by gold until about 1971. I don't remember what president it was, but they did some la-di-da underhanded stuff that I'm not even going to get into, that basically they got rid of the gold standard. So then it simply became a piece of paper that people, whatever it said on there, that was the value. That's what's crazy. That's what's crazy when you think about it, because they took the monetary value away from it, and they put their own, basically they put their own stank on it. They put their own value on it and said, this is what this costs. This is what the value is of this. And we believe them. And we took it as truth, when really and truly money is simply paper. 75% cotton, and you can look this up on Google. 25% linen. And because of that mindset, we've started to do certain things for money. And this is when it talks about in scripture, for the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself is not an evil thing. The issue at hand is that what ends up happening is we started scamming for money. So let's transition it into what it really is, paper. So we start scamming each other for paper, stealing from each other for paper, whoring ourselves out for paper, doing all these other things for paper, exhausting ourselves for paper, doing all these things that are truly beneath us because we don't understand that we are the actual value, not the paper. And when you don't understand it's you that brings the value, you slave yourself for paper. You exhaust yourself for paper. You do all these things for paper. And that's why the root of it all, the love of money is the root of all evil. Because you love it so much, you love it more than you love yourself. You love it more than you love yourself. Because you will put yourself on the chopping block just to get it. Little miss, I'm going to work 3 jobs. Why are you destroying your body like that, thinking that you're really going to get some value? You don't understand. People who do things for money in a way that's negative or wrong are people who don't understand they are money. And they don't trust themselves to be able to create it for themselves. Because here's the truth of the matter. It tells you in Proverbs 8 and 12 that you have creative and witty inventions within you. That means you have a level of wit. You have a high level of creativity. One, because you were created in the image and the likeness of the Most High. Hello, ye are gods. So you have God-like ability. You literally have the God frequency on the inside of you. But because you don't know that, you don't create from that space. You actually push that space down and you work yourself out for money. I tell people all the time, you're looking at a person who went to school, got her bachelor's, got her master's, and I have some doctoral work. I went into my job and I'm going into my 30s, and these people don't even want to pay me $40,000. But y'all let me get degrees that's adding up to over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all let me get this debt really quickly, but you won't position me for me to be able to elevate and pay me a decent salary. Something gotta give. This don't feel right. This is a gimmick. This is not the American dream. See, and then once my world crashed, I started having real conversations with the Most High, and the Most High said, I didn't tell you to go and get a job. You let people tell you that your writing skills weren't going to make you any money. I didn't tell you that you had to go out here and prove your worth by getting all these accolades. I didn't tell you that. I told you had creative and witty inventions in your very being. You've been a poet since the 3rd grade. You published a published poet at 17. So you mean to tell me you let people tell you that your writing ability and your speaking ability and the fact that you talk too much in school and all that, those things are gifts that I gave you to be able to make room for you. You believed you had to go get 50 million degrees, and that's why you ended up in that space right there. Because I didn't tell you that. Society told you that, and you believe them over me. And society is a creation of man, and it's really insane how we will listen to a creation of man, which man is actually a creation of the creator, instead of us actually listen to the creator. It's real wild. We'll let other people tell us that we ugly when the Most High says that we're beautifully and wonderfully made. This person doesn't even know your inner workings. But because you feel like you did so much for them that they should see your value, because you find your value in doing instead of being, which shows that you are not in your authentic feminine design. Because you don't understand that you simply are. You are high level currency. You are time. You are energy. You are attention. And you are money. Why are you letting people treat you less than? Beneath that. Put in the comments for me, I am high level currency, because I need you to understand your innate value. I don't need you to perform. And I know it's a lot of people on TikTok and other platforms that are teaching you how to perform and, to become more feminine. Becoming more feminine is really not that. There's no such thing as becoming more feminine. I do have a YouTube channel. What is happening is that you become more of yourself. And the truth of the matter is you're feminine by design. So when you become more of yourself, you have no choice but to ooze feminine energy. Because you're in your being. Hello. It's in your being. So it's no way for you to confuse that. So you don't have to perform. You don't have to become. You have to become more of yourself. It's you. Stop being tricked and pulled into these gimmicks of performative femininity. If it's not authentic, it's not going to work. That's why I teach feminine design mastery. Notice I didn't say I teach you how to be more feminine. No. Hey, my love. No. I teach feminine design mastery because guess what? There's a uniqueness to your design. And I carry the tools as a part of my gifting to be able to guide you on the journey to becoming more aligned with who you are. And your feminine energy is a byproduct of you aligning with your identity. It is a byproduct of you obeying your intuition without question. Instead of questioning yourself, it's about you being able to trust that voice. And it's also a byproduct of you becoming a master manifester because you start living an intentional life, i.e., you don't go out with dude just because you bored and you know you really don't want him. You're very intentional in the moves that you are making. That's how your feminine energy starts to ooze out. It's a byproduct of you becoming in alignment with your authentic design, because it is authenticity that attracts. The reason why nothing is working for you is because you are constantly seducing the wrong person by what you are thinking about yourself and the vibration that you are putting out there, which is why you continue to attract who you are attracting. But the reason why you continue to entertain them is because you have not gotten down to the bottom and done your work about why you feel you are so worthy of the treatment that you continue to get from people who dishonor you. See, we are attracted to what is familiar to us. So if you've been talked crazy to but taken care of all your life at home, it's not very surprising that you would marry a man who would talk crazy to you but financially take care of you. You haven't uprooted that program and you think that that is normal, what is familiar. And what I'm telling you is scripture, science, and psychology, my love. Anything that I give you is going to come from scripture, science, and psychology. Because we are spirit beings having a human experience, which means that there is going to be spirituality involved. There's going to be science, and there's going to be a psychological aspect to how this works. And so when I was a freshman in undergrad and my mom told me that she wanted me to be a pharmacist because I would make more money. And then when I realized, no, I don't really want to do that. I actually like psychology. I just thought I was going to go be a psychologist. In reality, the Most High was preparing me to be doing this work right here. Because the depths of what I know and understand about people and studying with psychology has been very beneficial to my business. So things that you think that you're just doing on a whim, the Most High has a long-term plan that's ready for you. Had no idea. I got more use out of my psychology degree right now in what I'm doing working for myself than I ever did at any job and anywhere else, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So when I tell you, queens, too, there's nothing that is accidental about your life. There's nothing that is coincidental about your life. It's about you being able to go back and reconnect these dots and understand how all of this is puzzle pieces. You will find yourself going back and connecting to the things. Like I told you, I've been a poet since I was in the 3rd grade. People told me you would never make money off writing. I became a 6-figure business owner off writing alone. Writing these courses up, writing journals, doing all these different things that people said was not possible. So when I'm telling you, you cannot be listening to creations. You have to be listening to the one that created you. And it's very important for you to understand and pay attention to that blueprint, because that blueprint is what's sustainable. Society's standards is always shifting. It's always changing. They telling you got to look one way. Then everybody start looking this way. No, you got to go back to looking like that. You got to do this to get that. See, they keep moving the goalposts. Y'all got to pay attention to what society is doing. They are constantly moving the goalposts on how you can be better seen in their eyes and accepted by them. Stop trying to be accepted by the creation when they didn't create you, beloved. Why is their voice so loud in your head? Louder than the one that created you. How? It's so dangerous for you to do that, because it's your belief that impacts your biology, and your biology that influences your behavior. So if you believe what they tell you, you will biologically come into agreement with that agenda, and your behavior will display things that you don't even really want for yourself. That's why you have to be very careful about the things that you believe. Misaligned beliefs is the number one reason why we are in a lot of situations we are in right now. The reason we even have to go and live on this ghetto earth, because let's get into it. The only reason we have to even be on this ghetto earth and we not eating fruit, just out naked chilling like ain't nothing going on, is because Eve believed the creation instead of believing the creator. She let somebody trick her spot by telling her, hey, you'll be more like God when you do this, because she didn't notice she was already like God. Because when the Most High said, let's create you in our image and our likeness, first and foremost, ye are gods. You need to understand the God frequency is Luke 17:21. The kingdom of heaven is within you. So you have the kingdom residing within you. It's up to you to find the pathway to go back to connecting to that, because that's when you're going to be able to create what you want. That's how you really create the life you want. Because truthfully, without being in the God frequency, you don't know what you want. You only know what these humans in this media has told you wanted. You only know what they told you wanted. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. That's why when somebody asks you what you want to eat, you don't know. You can't give options. You're so used to being told what to do, so when somebody asks you what you want, you don't know. Which is why when somebody gives you something and it feels like something you never had before, you may like it for a minute and then you realize 6 months down the line you really don't like it. Why? Because you never liked it from the jump, but you didn't know yourself, so you didn't know that. You didn't know enough to be able to reject that up front. But this is what happens when you don't know yourself. This is what happens when you believe anything. You cannot be out here believing anything, because belief impacts biology, and your biology influences the way that you behave. Okay? Next thing is this. You have to understand that there's a 3-part success strategy system that I live by before I give you this blueprint. I teach it to my clients. I weave it into my products. It is the very much so the reason how I was able to hit 6 figures as a business owner. No gimmick, no game, no joke. It is a sustainability formula. And I will say this to you, once I explain it to you, if you look at any celebrity that's being gossiped about right now, that's being talked about right now, that's being put out here in these scandals right now, I guarantee you they violated one of these key things in this success strategy I'm about to give you. Number 1, obedience to spiritual law. First and foremost, for me, spiritual law looks like scripture. When you obey spiritual law and you understand how law works, you're very intentional about how you move. When you understand how law works, you understand the law of sowing and reaping, also known as the law of cause and effect. Whatever, don't be mocked. Whatever man sows, you shall reap. If you know that that is true and you believe that in your whole heart, you won't lie to yourself, because you know you're going to attract another liar. You won't lie to other people, because you know that the very person that you're going to need the truth from is going to put you in a position and lie to you, because that's your keep you done earned. You understand that you won't disrespect yourself, because you will attract people who will disrespect you. It is just that simple. The law of sowing and reaping, and that's just one law. So when you obey spiritual law, you know how to move. Spiritual law is not here to make you feel restricted. And I know I used to really feel like that. I used to really feel like, dang, God don't want me to do nothing. I'm just being honest, because I'm gonna be real about my relationship with the Most High. I don't know how nobody else roll with it, and I'm not even gonna act like, oh, I'm like this. No, I'm very honest, because the Most High knows me already. It's no point of me trying to do a gimmick or a game with the Most High. You know me, you know who I am, you know what I'm about. You created me, I'm working on it. Let's get into it. That's just that on that. So I'm gonna be very direct about what's going on. Very clear about whatever it is that I need. Because it's not a joke and it's not a game. Because let me tell you something. People will say up and down, oh, God ain't hearing my prayers. That may be true. But the Most High always honors law. Law is always going to be honored. Law in the universe is an algorithm that is created by the Most High that responds to that law. It's an order system. It's an order system for multiple uses. It don't miss nothing. So whatever you put into it, yes, it is going to be amplified and it is going to boomerang back at you. That is the way it goes. But when you understand that, you are very cautious. You are very cautious. You're cautious about putting your mouth on other people. You're cautious about how you move. Because you understand, especially once you understand spiritual law, those consequences hit faster and they hit different, because you know better. Because you know better. So obedience to spiritual law is number 1. The second thing is understanding the science of yourself, as well as understanding the science of everything else around you. Now, as a woman, you have to understand that your womb is your internal GPS. Your womb is letting you know where you at. Your womb is your internal GPS. She is letting you know where you at. If there is not a flow happening in your womb, she is letting you know that there is something that is blocking it, that has caused the imbalance, and you need to stop. And this is coming from a woman who dealt with hormonal issues for 20 years. Those people told me, oh, you have polycystic ovarian. Told me when I was 20 and 2004, baby, I cried. See, that's one thing about me. You tell me I'm sick, I'm going to cry, and then I'm going to go get healthy. Because all you got to do is warn me one time that I'm sick or something to that point. I'm finna get on it. So they told me that. I tried to do it their way in the beginning. They gave me all this medicine. Oh, let me give you metformin. Oh, let me give you this. Oh, let me give you that. Oh, you're going to have to be on birth control. Oh, you're going to have to do this. Oh, you're going to have to do that. I'm doing all of this stuff. Yeah, I'm losing weight, but then I'm gaining it right back. Nothing is happening. My cycle is still not consistent. I'm having to take things and it's still not doing what it needs to do. The body is just completely out of balance. But guess what the kicker is to that? My body been out of balance since I was 11 because I've been having these irregular cycles since I was 11. So either the body was that stressed out that it couldn't create flow once it started. And I had some stuff to go on them first 10 years that mentally I took in, and traumatic was just a lot. But I struggled with that and it threw my body off for 20 years. 20 years. And then I did a 6-month reset at the obedience of the Most High, where I completely shifted my habits. I set enormous boundaries. I ate different. I wasn't even starting to work out. I was just really engulfing myself in the Most High. I was meditating. I was very, very much so care for myself. And within 6 months, my body was reset. And my body has been coming, my cycle has been coming consistently for the last 7 years, almost 7 years now. More consistently than it did in the last 20 before that. So what you have to understand is that when you start understanding the science of how you operate, instead of being focused on the aesthetic of it, it hits different. When I began to heal my body scientifically by understanding that I had 4 phases in my cycle: luteal, follicular, ovulation, and menstrual, and I began to live according to those cycles, eat according to those cycles, work according to those cycles, design my business around this particular type of, it's everything healed for me. And chemically, it altered my brain. It altered who I was. And guess what started to happen? I started to attract different. My palate shifted. My palate shifted for what I was attracted to because I was taking ownership for myself. See, when I was pretending to be somebody else and pretending that everything was okay, what I was attracting, I couldn't keep. It would never seem to work. None of those things. Nothing seemed to stick. But when I became more authentic, more of myself, more in flow, and my cycle I began to understand the science of myself and how it impacted everyone else around me. So I came out of the aesthetics of being a woman, the makeup, the this. I came out of the aesthetics of looking at men because there's an art and a science to men as well. If you don't know how you operate chemically as a woman, you don't know if you really have chemistry with a man. You understand that chemistry is based on chemical connection? How are you chemically imbalanced thinking that you are clear enough to make a decision stating that you are attracted to this person and y'all have real chemistry? You're starting with a false start. You're starting with imbalance. And if you're imbalanced and you can't help but to attract somebody else who's in a state of imbalance, that's going to create an explosion. The wrong chemical can create an explosion. If you don't believe me, try cleaning the bathroom with the wrong chemicals. You're going to pass out in there from all them fumes. You're going to pass out because you have mixed the wrong chemicals. It's the same thing. Understand the science of yourself as well as understand the science of everything else around you. If you don't know the art and the science of womanhood, you're going to struggle to understand the art and the science to men and the art and the science to children. And if you don't understand these things and you are procreating and you are getting out here in relationships saying you're ready for a healthy relationship, you playing yourself. You playing yourself and you playing with other people. And you're setting off things in the universal algorithm that are going to continue to harm you. Because let me help you out if you don't understand how time works. Because I see time in a way that most people don't see time. Because I have been given the gift to be able to see things in the form of patterns. So when I look at time, I'm not looking at I understand the numerical aspect of it with this Chronos time. And I also understand the seasonal aspect of time, which is Kairos time. But the key thing about time is this. Time is about what you cause, the effect of that, okay? So we have cause, we have effect, which is going to create a new pattern. And if you sit in that pattern for a little bit or if it keeps going, then it's going to become a season. Then you're going to sit in that season for a minute. Then it's going to become a cycle. And that's how your life starts. Keep having these repetitive patterns over and over, repetitive cycles over and over and over again. That's exactly it right there. But because you don't really understand the concept of time and you can't see it, you don't really understand it. So you waste time. You waste time. Understand the science of yourself and understand the science of everything else around you. You are 4 different women. When you are going through those 4 phases, you're not moody, you're not PMSs, you're disconnected. A woman who is at war with herself will always be battling with other people. I don't be having attitudes and arguing with people when I'm on my cycle and just moody. Why? Because I'm so in tune with myself. When I feel like I'm getting to that space where I'm really introverted and I'm wanting more introversion, which is really what that means, I'm able to articulate that in a timely manner to the people around me so that they can support me by giving me space. So they can support me by giving me the things I need around me during that time. Okay? But because you don't understand it about yourself, you can't communicate that. You don't know exactly how to pinpoint that and when that's going to happen and what phase that is. So people have no desire to be patient with you because you don't know yourself and you're not patient with yourself enough to get to know yourself. Understand the science of yourself and everything else around you. You are connected to the earth, the air, and the water, and the fire. All these things make up your blood and your elements and your organs. They're very vital to your health, okay? The third part of the success strategy is knowing your personal psychology. You have to study the people that came before you. Study your lineage. Study the people that came before you, right? So you can look at the mistakes and the things that they made without judgment. And you can actually see how you can close the gaps. Because you can't close the gaps or ooze feminine energy if, okay? You cannot do that if you have unforgiveness in your body. Unforgiveness is poison. It's poison to the body, and it poisons any aspect or any chance of you oozing any type of feminine energy. Okay? So important and so vital for you to understand that. Stop judging them. Pay attention to what happened with them. Understand that they are human beings that happen to be your parents. We don't get a manual with this thing. We're trying to figure out how to do life as well, and we are trying to interpret things to the best of our ability. And if you remember that and you remember and look at your own life, it makes it easier for you to remember that the people who reared you are just human beings. They wanted love just like you. They went about it a different way. They wanted this just like you, but they went a different way. And I'm sure they would have loved to have been able to give you a childhood that consisted with amazing healing and all that. But you know what? A lot of them were not afforded that opportunity. They were told to shut up and bear. Shut up and bear their pains. A lot of the women that came before us dealt with a lot of SA and they were told to shut up. It wasn't no therapy. It wasn't no this. It wasn't no that. Those women are broken. Those women are in pain. Don't take their pain on. Pay attention to their pain so you don't repeat it. Know your personal psychology. It makes a difference. Okay? So again, if you look at anything that's going on in the world with these scandals and these people got going on, I guarantee you they have violated one of those key things. See, you can't keep success when you do low down stuff. That's in Proverbs, baby. You cannot obtain wealth from an evil place. You will not sustain it. You might be able to hold it for 20 years. You might be able to hold it for 10. You might be able to hold it for 40. But you will not be able to sustain it. And by the time everything is done, your entire legacy will be tarnished. What people will know about you is about all your dirty deeds. And they will outweigh anything that you've done. Please. Hear me when I tell you this success strategy system is about sustainability. Obedience to spiritual law. In order for you to obey it, you got to know it. Understanding the science of yourself. This is how you don't exhaust yourself. This is how you don't violate yourself. This is how you protect yourself. And knowing your personal psychology. This is how you do not repeat the patterns that have caused your family to get off the path of your birthright of abundance according to John 10:10. Okay? If you stay in if you follow those things, you will stay in the space of what is known as the God frequency, which is Luke 17:21. The kingdom of heaven is within you, because that will be at the forefront. And when you create from that space, you have no choice but to create wealthy things, because you're coming from a space of the God frequency. I tell people, I can only meet you in that zone, in the God frequency. I'm not talking to you want to talk about the low level stuff. I'm not talking about that. People, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay my bills. See, that's a problem. That's a problem when you are a believer and you're saying you're trying to figure out how you're gonna pay your bills, because the Most High says He's gonna supply all of your needs according to His riches and glory. Says that you've never seen the righteous forsaken. You've never seen the righteous begging for bread. So what has to happen is there has to be an assessment that takes place on the inside of you to see, why are you not believing? Because you not believing is the reason why you're not getting access to the gifts that'll actually create more income for you. Your lack of belief, your lack of faith. Because again, belief impacts biology, and biology influences the way you behave. It's literally that simple. It's literally that simple. So that is the obedience. That is the success strategy. Okay. So let me go ahead and give y'all this live case study on the business and balance acumen of the Proverbs 31 woman. I think it's actually it's going to inspire some women. Thank you, my love. And then for other one, it's going to ruffle y'all feathers. Either way it go, I'm cool with it. Because, hey, I've only built my business according to this and it works for me. I've only been able to spend the entire year traveling around the world as a digital nomad. I've only been able to help women make more money that they have seen this entire year. I've only been able to do these things based on this blueprint. But hey, do what you want. Do whatever you want. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and get into it again. For those who do not know me, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine business strategist, and I support my amazing clients in the key areas of feminine design mastery, creating seamless income, and doing their sacred work from anywhere in the entire world, because I believe that women should be able to have freedom to do so. We are so much more of ourselves and so much more feminine energy when we have the ability to be free, when we feel like we have options and we have things taken care of. And I think society has told us that we have to solely depend on and make men responsible for our happiness and our well-being, and that's not true. The Most High doesn't tell you that at all. It's, to have a masculine man in your life or to have a feminine woman in your life, it's a compliment. It should be a compliment to you. You should be complimenting that type of energy. So if you don't compliment that type of energy, it's a high chance that you're not going to attract that. And if you struggle to balance the two energies within yourself, because left brain is basically masculine energy, the way that the left brain and what it governs is left brain energy, masculine energy, and right brain energy, and what it governs is actually the things that are considered within the feminine energy. So if you don't know how to balance those two, and I'm gonna tell you what I see with a lot of women who are millennial women, and a lot of women even a little bit above that, you guys do very well, and I used to be like this too. You guys do very well on the masculine side. Like, you're able to make money. Women are making money like crazy. You're able to think about things. You're able to schedule things. You're able to plan things. You're able to get things done. You're able to do all those things, achieve accolades, all those things extremely well. But what you don't do well is you don't know how to sit down. You don't know how to be still. You feel like if you're sitting still, then you should be doing something because somebody told you that you're not doing enough. So you feel uncomfortable sitting down. Or you exhaust yourself to oblivion. You feel like you need to just do everything and be everyone for everybody, and you literally leave nothing for yourself because it's so much easier for you to focus on other people's problems and be their savior than to be your own. And I want us to stop that, especially going into 2024. There are a lot of things that are going to be shifting. If you live in the United States, it's an election year. Y'all, please. The focus cannot be on hustling. The grind, all of that stuff is over. Please let it be over for you. Your first $100,000 in your business is the hardest you make, but it's not because it's hard. The hardest part is believing that you're going to make that money and that people are going to pay you at a high level for the gifts that you have. That's the problem, because people told you that they weren't going to pay you for that. They told you they weren't going to pay you for that, and you believed them, so you didn't even try. And I'm telling you, as a person who went against the grain, and I didn't do this, I'm 25, I'm finna do. Baby, I left my job at 35. That's how much faith I had. One thing about me, I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared to walk. I ain't never scared to walk when something is not serving me and not treating me well, and the workforce was not treating me well. It was not treating me well. It was bad for my health. I was 90 pounds heavier. I was going bald in the center of my head, and everybody who worked around me had some form of lifestyle illness, from diabetes to high blood pressure and other things. And a lot of it was coming from working hard on their job and having to eat on the go, not realizing that your body has a circadian clock within it, and you can't eat during certain times because it throws your body off. And see, I didn't understand this, so I'm consistently doing it. I'm trying to figure out why my body's all out of whack. The corporate system does not care about you. And as a woman going into 2024, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. You need to have if you got a job and you don't have a business, I'm going to tell you some real stuff right now. If you have a job, You need 2 additional streams of income in 2024. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm trying to, y'all, it's not going to get no better with these prices. I'm trying to tell you now. If you have a 9 to 5 and that is your option currently, okay? You need 2 additional streams of income. If you need to know how to create those, I got 2 products over there that will show you how to create these things. I got the alignment bundle that teaches you how to create passive income, and I also have the FEMA bundle, which contains the intelligence to income masterclass, so you can really level up your gifts and the things that you learn from all your jobs and start charging 4 and 5 figures for your services. That one is $497. The FEMA bundle is $497. The alignment bundle is $222. You can get that with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. If you need help learning how to make money, because I spent all year teaching women how to make money. That's the products that my clients use to be able to create ebooks. That's the products my clients use to go from making 3 figures a month to 5 figures in less than 30 days. That's exactly the pathway that they went on right there. And it's exactly what I did to be able to be doing what I'm doing right now. So I ain't going to tell you nothing or give you nothing that I haven't done, that I have not seen, and that I have not helped other women do. You know why? First and foremost, because I ain't finna get in trouble with the Most High for nobody. I don't care, and let me just be, I don't care enough about money, because I understand that money is 75% cotton and 25% linen. It's too much like slavery for me to be slaving and worried and concerned about paper. For me. What it is for me is for women to be getting their results. I'm telling you, you're going to need 2 additional streams of income. If you have a business and it is your primary source, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about diversifying and different things going into 2024 about how you can keep your money. See, 2023 was about me teaching you how to get money. I wrote this. I'm going to tell you, I did my work for y'all in 2023. Because I wrote down last night exactly what I did. I spent all year teaching women how to heal those demons so they can remove those money blocks. Serenity Glow and the Divine Alignment Bundle. I taught women how to make money all year. Get passively paid, that's in the Divine Alignment Bundle. And the Intelligence to Income Masterclass. And I taught women the reality of what's really happening with them spiritually and reminding them that they're spirit beings having a human experience. And that they have a blueprint laid out for them. So I'm not going to be talking about that no more. What I'll be talking about now is the maintenance around their healing. Keeping it up. I'm not telling you no more about making money. I'm showing you how to keep the money and diversify it. And then I'm also going to be showing you the tools that's necessary for you to be growing and evolving spiritually. Because it's not about you getting the bag. It's about you becoming the woman who knows how to hold the bag, manage the bag, invest the bag. See, that's the real gimmick. That's the hard part. The hard part is never getting the money. The hard part is becoming who you have to be to actually be in charge of that type of money. And that's where it gets real. And that's the scary part for people. Because what happens, okay? What happens to a lot of people is that they scared of their money. They want to make their money, but they scared of that money. Okay? They are scared of that money. All right. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, let's get into this, the business and balance acumen of the Proverbs 31 woman. And I just think she's so bomb. So when the Most High really revealed this to me a couple of years back, because I've been doing a feminine-based business model probably since about 2022. And I'm going to be honest with you, it really got me through 2022. Because 2022 was a very, very hard year for me. I was working a lot. In my business, I was doing a lot of groundwork, but I was in a very, very painful place at that time. And it really supported me as I was healing during that time because I didn't feel like I needed to show up all the time. And it positioned me to be able to show up authentically. So life be happening, y'all. Life be lifing. And as a business owner or a person who is a creative who sells things online, you still have a responsibility to show up even when life start lifing. But you got to have a process that supports you through that. So when I didn't want to do certain things, I had systems in place that I was paying for that was uploading things for me. My business still wasn't losing anything because I had a feminine-based business model, meaning I wasn't having to be present or work all the time for my business to be able to make money. And I want you to understand that too. You don't have to be everywhere to get what you need. Don't have to do that, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm going to give you the scripture that goes with this. So I'm just not going to give you like, oh, this is what she did. No, I'm going to tell you where to go look. Because I'm going to tell you like my mama tell me. My mama has always told me since I was a little girl. She said, don't even believe what I tell you. You research everything. If you don't believe me, go research it for yourself. And my mama is, baby, she is the chef's kiss of researchers. Do you hear me? That lady knows she could research something. Okay? She gonna find any and everything. And I really appreciated that because she taught me in that moment that I'm not always correct. And you should always do your own research for yourself, especially before you apply anything. And that is the same thing that I tell everyone on TikTok. Before you apply anything to your life with this femininity talk, especially when it comes down to your spirituality, your mentality, and your emotional being, you be very careful about the practices and the things that you adopt. You be very careful about the things that you open yourself up for. You make sure these things are in alignment with you before you add them to your life, before you destroy your life. There is such a thing as spiritual psychosis. There is such a thing as mental these things actually happen. There is such a thing of having too much knowledge. Because when you really, and especially when you are doing investigations when it comes down to this matrix of a world that we live in, be very careful when you start going down those rabbit holes. Because you will find really how far these people, humanity, has gotten away from our godlike nature. And it's really crushing. And everybody ain't ready for that. Nor does everyone need to be exposed to that. So be patient with yourself, okay? It will make you sick. Slow. Digest these things, dissect these things, and before you apply them to your life, I am telling you what it is, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get into this case study. The business and balance acumen of the Proverbs 31 woman. The first thing that I really need us to really grasp and understand is this is really probably going to go against a lot of the grain because I'm talking about business, but it's insane how this is so crazy and how society has really flipped us and flipped this. Number one, the Proverbs 31 woman was spiritually aware of her ability, her value, and her capability. I'm going to say that again. The Proverbs 31 woman, right, was very and is, because really she's a representation of wisdom and womanhood, is a mixture, okay? So the Proverbs 31 woman is a woman who is spiritually aware of her ability, her value, and her capability. And that's literally based on Proverbs 31 and 10. And Proverbs 31 and 10 is, and I'm using the Amplified Classic version because it's going to give you a bit of a better breakdown and understanding. And I also recommend that you go and use a Strong's Concordance if you want like deep. I'm one of the ones that like to get down to the bottom of the map. So I be needing to know. So yeah, so this is one of the versions that I started using when I first came on my journey of healing years ago, and it really supported me. And now I just do a lot of cross-referencing and all that different stuff. So it basically says a capable, intelligent, and virtuous woman. Who is she and who can find her? She is far more precious than jewels, and her value is far above pearls and rubies. The thing about this particular type of woman understands her value. This particular woman understands that she is a goddess, she is a queen, she is created in the image of the Most High, she understands her ability, therefore she doesn't settle for less. And when you even look at how she's being described from a perspective of the man that she chose to marry, it sounds like she married well too. But in order for you to actually, and let me say this too, marriages work, but if you're gonna work, you want to work well with somebody. So you have to choose well, which means that you guys have to be in alignment. It has to make sense. So if this husband of hers is describing her as a woman who is basically, who never brings any trouble, brings any issues or anything like that to him, she is just so loving, she does this all the days of her life, it sounds like she chose a partner because she understood her value. And she was not willing to sign up for something that was not going to support what she was doing. Because you do realize that this woman was an entrepreneur, right? The Proverbs 31 woman worked for herself. She employed people, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. She didn't work for nobody else. Because again, She was spiritually aware of her ability, her value, and her capability. And when I say your capability, that means she knew what she was going to take on and what she was not going to take on. Which further shows me that she was well in her choosing when it came down to her hiring process, the man that she chose to marry, and even the land that she chose to buy, because she was into real estate too. I'm going to get into that in a minute too. But the first thing that you have to understand about her is that she was aware of herself. She was extremely self-aware. That's why I always say the more you know yourself, the better you can structure out your business. And the realer you are with yourself, the longer you're going to stay in business. Say this all the time. When you real with yourself, if you need help, guess what you're going to do? Say you need help and find you some help. You ain't too proud. You ain't too ashamed to ask for what you need. Because you're honest with yourself. You understand and realize your own capability. So you don't try to do more than what you can do. For what? Why would I do that? It don't make sense. Okay? So that's the first thing. And like I said, that's Proverbs 31:10. The second thing is it says that the Proverbs 31 woman, she's a woman who can be trusted by others because she knows who she really is, because she's confident. And that comes from Proverbs 31:11. And in that one it says, the heart of her husband trusts her confidently and relies on her and believes in her securely, so that he has no lack of honest gain and no need of spoil. She gonna always keep it real with him. She can be trusted because she keep it real. And the reason why she keep it real is because she keep it real with herself, because she's being herself. She's not trying to pretend to be anyone else. That's why she can be trusted. Y'all won't be honest about what you want. You want to try to play a mind game to see if somebody's gonna figure out what you want. That's not the way it goes. And if she could be trusted by the one that she was with, because she was being herself, then she can be trusted with others. Other people can trust her. She sounds like a woman that can be confided in. She sounds like a woman that's going to be able to give you wisdom. That's what it's giving. That's the second thing about her. And that comes again, like I said, Proverbs 31:11. Third thing. See, and if you notice, all of these things this is even before she even get into business. This is exactly how, if you were in the feminine free woman, the feminine business blueprint masterclass, then you will see how this correlates, because the first order of business is yourself. The first order of business is yourself. Before you make a sale, before you touch a client, the first order of business is to get business in order with yourself. Is to know yourself. Know your capability, know your ability, and know your value. Why is this so important, Elle? If you know your ability, then can't nobody tell you what you can't do. When somebody tell you can't do it, you know you can. You don't argue that, you simply do. Hello. When she's spiritually aware of her value, guess what? She gonna charge the right price point. She not scared to charge $10,000 and look you in the face for her writing services, because she not scared of you. She know with the value that she's gonna provide with that service. She know that $10,000 investment is gonna flip to $100,000, so she gonna stay with ease. Hello. But y'all scared and talking about discounts. But you want a 6-figure business. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't think so. She knew her capability. Guess what? She wasn't burning out, baby, because if it was too much work, guess what she was going to do? Stop. Or hire somebody. She wasn't trying to do everything. No, y'all got to prove a point. I'm the one. The one that's burned out in the hospital mad because ain't nobody came to see about you. All right. Number 3. The Proverbs 31 woman is a homemaker that actually creates for her family. Ba-dum-ting. And that comes from Proverbs 31:13. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. It says that she seeks out wool and flax and works willingly with her hands to develop it. Baby, she was sewing clothes and doing things for the house, baby. She was hemming, okay? She knew how to sew. How many of us on here know how to fix a hem? What if you were put in a position where you had to put some fabric together? Can you? What if things get so high on the market and get so ridiculous to where you may not be able to go and get certain type of different, decorations and things, or even certain things because you can't get out? Let's just say we can't get out and get in the house and you need to have some clothes. Can you sew some stuff together? Can you make your house a home by being in frugal living? Can you do that? Can you take something and take nothing and make it out of something? She could. And you see, she doing all this before she even get to business. Baby, she taking care of herself and taking care of the house before business. Because here's the gotcha. Okay? They love to tell you that, oh, you need to come to work and do this, but they're not telling you about you being away from your family and how that impacts your family. How it impacts your family, you not being able to be there and create a home. The home that you want. And when your house is disarray, you going to work in shambles. But if we get the house together before we start working, it hit different. When we get self together before we get the house together, it hit different. See, it's an order. It's self, is what's going on in your house, then it's outside your house. Not new to this, I'm true to this. She was a homemaker. She was making sure her family had what they need. Most definitely it does. Most definitely it does. Number 4. She makes sure that she feeds her family quality food. Let's get into it. Because she who rules the kitchen either poisons or fuels the nation, or fuels her legacy, her lineage. I'm going to say it again. She who rules the kitchen either fuels or poisons her legacy. You choose. That verse is Proverbs 31:14. She is like merchant ships loaded with foodstuffs. She brings her household food from afar. Baby, she got stuff coming from afar. She got the good stuff coming. She ain't feeding her folks McDonald's. She ain't doing it. She ain't doing it. She not feeding her family trash and expecting them, you know what I'm saying? She not feeding her kids a bunch of hot chips and wonder why they bouncing off the walls. She's not doing that. She understands that if her home is running smoothly and her family is running smoothly, it's so much easier for her to do her work. So let me get y'all fed. Let me get me together. Let me meditate, get my stuff, make sure my stuff in my home. Let me make sure y'all get fed. Let me get y'all together so I can be at peace that all the systems of my home are working, so I can do business in an efficient way. Girl, except that crispy Sprite. Girl, I've been wanting one so bad I ain't been having none. Quality food, okay? All right, number 5. She rises early in order to teach, encourage, and delegate tasks. Baby, she getting up. She getting up and she's commanding how her day is going to go because she wants to make sure that things go clearly. And this comes from Proverbs 31:15. She rises while it's still night and gets spiritual food, teaching and encouraging for her household, and assigns the maids their task. Baby, let me tell you something. She got up in the morning, she was teaching, she was encouraging, she was affirming, and then she was delegating. This is the one. This is the one I'm coming from today. She got up teaching. She got up early. Speaking into them before they leave the house. Are you speaking into your husband and speaking into your children before they leave the house? Of course not. You're not speaking into yourself. Are you speaking into them the amazing things that they need to hear, because the world is going to tell them all the things about themselves that they don't want to hear, and a bunch of lies in the midst of that too. What are they hearing from you? What encouragement, what teaching? That's what she getting, and she delegating tasks. Baby, I ain't finna do all this work. Good evening, good night. Here you go. Okay? Number 6, she investigates and then she invests. And that comes from Proverbs 31:16. She considers a new field before she buys it or accepts it. Expanding prudently, not courting neglect of these present duties or by assuming other duties. With her savings, she plants fruitful vines in her vineyard. This woman investigates anything before she invests in it. Before she buys land, she's investigating the land to see its worth. And once she makes the profit from that, she diversifies her income by planting it in areas that is going to make her more money. Little miss, I'm holding all this money in the bank. That's why your money ain't moving and growing. You don't want to invest. You think holding your money makes you feel like you actually have any, when in reality, like I told you, money is paper. And if the bank wakes up tomorrow and just decides, voila, it's gone, then what? Where are your high level investments? What have you been investing in? That woman investigates and she invests. That's how she moving. That's how she moving. Those are the 6 key things from this first part of this case study that I'm sharing with y'all. And if you want to know how to do this, the process of doing this, like, because she created basically a home structure, a business that was built around her values and her feminine design. And I show you how to do all of this in the Feminine Business Blueprint. The Feminine Business Blueprint is a masterclass that literally teaches you how to discover the authenticity and the uniqueness of your feminine design. It supports you in creating a business model that is more feminine based, so you're not having to hustle. It supports you in using feminine energy to be able to call in clients and attract clients by just authentically being yourself. That masterclass is $397. You can get it with a Klarna Affirm and Afterpay. It is a powerful, powerful, powerful masterclass. I recommend it for any woman who is either starting a business or who has a business, and their business model, it has them in a space where they're hustling. This is the business model that I used to go from working 60 hours to 80 hours a week in my business to working 15 to 20 hours that I work now. And I still make what I make. I make more money now working the 15 to 20 at 5 figures a month than I did when I was working the 80. I'm teaching you how to do this in this masterclass. So if you are a woman who is ready, who is focused, and who is ready to go to the next level, that is going to support you in that. I'm going to take a few questions before I get ready to get off. What questions do you guys have for me about anything that I spoke about today, or any of my Genius Zone areas of where I can support you? Hey, I'm going to be on for a few minutes. Thank you so much for these gifts. Number two is that she was a woman who could be trusted by others because she was really confident in who she was. She was honest. She wasn't a liar. She was a very honest woman, so she could be trusted by those in her house and those outside of her house. How long is the masterclass? Is it just one payment? You can use Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay to buy it. The masterclass, I think itself, is 2 hours total. It's a powerful masterclass. I gave out a lot of information, to be honest. That masterclass for business has definitely been the most powerful one I've done all year because it is the structured one. Hey, my love, same to you. It has been the structure. And a lot of women, we tend to get information because we like information. We like all this, give me more, tell me about this. But we actually need to implement. And I'm showing you how to implement this in your business because I want us to not hustle next year in business. That just really doesn't make sense. I'm be honest. It doesn't make sense to hustle in your business next year. It's too many ways for you to make money and not work hard, and you're gonna burn yourself out. And then as things begin to shift and life happens, because stuff happens during election years, it's insane. I don't want you to be caught off track. I need you to be able to stay focused and be able to manage the tide. So grab that masterclass because it really will support you in that key area, those key areas. What other questions do you guys have for me? And congratulations, somebody just purchased a ticket to the masterclass. Two people. Well, not ticket. They purchased the masterclass. It should be in your email. I'm seeing two people thus far. That purchase is $397. Like I said, you can get it with Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. What was I gonna say? Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. And then I also have other services over there. If you're a business owner who struggles with your emotions, the Serenity Glow Masterclass will probably be your best bet. It's 111. The alignment bundle, if you struggle to, did we already get the workbook? No, okay. No, you guys didn't get that email with the workbook, which is going to end up coming next week. I was having an issue with Canva where it wouldn't let me download. And I have been emailing them, so I don't know what's going on. But it should be resolved next week where I'm able to send you guys the workbook that comes with it. Because I wanted to do a check-in anyway in 14 days. So that's about right. So you guys will get access to that next week. Any other questions? I gotta go find food. I'm hungry. No worries. Congratulations, somebody just purchased another ticket to the masterclass. All right. Okay, so I'm not seeing any other questions. Let me know in the DM if you guys have any other questions. Congratulations to those who have purchased the masterclass. You are going to have, you're in for an amazing treat for the women who have purchased the masterclass because it is really going to support you in a massive way. I hope that these 6 things have really kind of shifted your perspective of paying attention to the business and the balance acumen of um, the Proverbs 31 woman. Yes, you can. Yes, you can purchase it for her. All you have to do is click the link in the bio and then purchase. It's going to come directly to the email that you purchased from. Please buy it for her so she can be an amazing creative at home. And I'm going to tell y'all why I created this. Let me give you a little history because at the time frame when I created this business model that I live by, I was married. And so my first business was a makeup artist and I was working a lot. I was gone a lot. I just didn't like it. It just didn't suit me being a wife and it was just a lot. So when I decided to go into coaching, I designed my business literally around being my husband's wife. I mean, yeah, being my husband's wife at the time. And so I designed it around, the time I was going to work, the time I was going to take clients, all that type of stuff. And it really worked out very, very well for me. And it's the same business model that I've been able to use to this day. It's the same one that I support other women with. And these women are able to create, while balancing motherhood, while balancing, being wives, while balancing like being caregivers and all these things. And I think that's very important because your business should really support you and stabilize you in your womanhood. It shouldn't, you shouldn't be all over the place. Like it just doesn't make sense. Okay. And it's not good for you too. Like when work is off and work ain't going right, guess what happens? You end up taking that home, and that's not okay. But if you actually build work around your life, you'll realize like how much easier it is for you to be able to do this. I don't really. I'm gonna be very transparent with you, and I think this may be the second time I've said this. Because the question is, how did you know when it was time to let the marriage go? That's where I'm at now in order to grow. Um, I don't discuss my marriage with my ex-husband, not because, and I don't know, oh, because he's this, he's that. I would never do anything or say anything in regard to him and dishonoring him, because I really do respect him. Like, we have a mutual respect for each other. That situation just couldn't work. I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is to seek the Most High, and when it comes down to those type of situations, because those situations are always very difficult, and you always want to make sure that you are making decisions that are in alignment with what the Most High is wanting you to do. So you want to search out all avenues in that area. And I believe and trust that the Most High will make it very clear for you in the direction that you should go in. But as for me, I don't really dive into that aspect of my life, because I really, like I said, I really do respect my ex-husband. And I'm just not one of those type of women that is, you know, some women get on there just like, oh, it's just like, nah. I love him, I respect him. And then on top of that, too, I think women don't realize is when you, and I'm not saying you do this, but I don't think women realize when you get online and you start bashing the person that you chose, all you do is reveal how bad your choices are. So, you know, but just really start asking questions and dive deep in with the Most High, and don't let nobody tell you when you should know when it is, because nobody knows that if that's the direction you're going in. Don't let nobody tell you that, because nobody has your answer, which is why I won't give you one, because nobody has your answer. Ultimately, you know that answer. You just have to confirm and make sure that that answer is in alignment with the direction and the path that you are instructed to go on. That's it. You don't need me for that, and you don't need nobody else for that. So my strong recommendation is to not ask anyone else except for the one that created you. Real. Cause truthfully, well, nobody gonna let me leave. Nobody was gonna make me leave mine until I was ready. So I don't never tell nobody leave theirs. What other questions do you all have for me before I get ready to go? Absolutely, always, always seek the Most High. That's one of the things I will. I ain't never tell you that. All right, loves. I'm not really seeing any other additional questions. Thank you to when somebody else just purchased the masterclass. Thank you for those who purchased today. I'm really excited to see how your journey is going to go and the growth that's going to end up happening. I do have a gift that is coming, but it's not coming until like the 26th. I'm going to give my assistant to try to figure out how we're going to work that out. But it's going to be coming. It's going to be this amazing opt-in that's going to help business owners who are ready. So, thank you so much. I appreciate you. As always, happy Feminine Friday, Fly Woman Fridays. Thank you. All praise to the Most High. And y'all let me know if y'all have any questions about anything. Check out the products and services in my bio and sign up for my email list. Or join my YouTube. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing one. Peace.